My name's Dan Lorden. I served as a Special Forces Medical Sergeant. I was in the Army for a total of 8 years, 6 years active duty, and 2 years combined in the Reserves and the National Guard. I deployed 3 times for a total of about a year. People perceive veterans as victims. It's the wrong mindset for everybody to have, both for the veteran and for the civilian community. I think that creates a divide if you view somebody as a victim.
Yeah, somebody read it one more time.
Democracy in America is at once the best book ever written on democracy and the best book ever written on America. This program takes that mindset completely away. You don't feel like a victim if you're empowered.
Who influences his thinking? Marx does, certainly.
In 2008, while I was still serving in the Australian Army in Special Operations, I had decided that I wanted to go to college.
So then what does he do? What does he do throughout the remainder of that paragraph?
My brother, he at the time was one of the top students in the Government and International Relations Department of Sydney University, and he pulled me aside and basically said to me, look, you can blow in a door and attack a room, but you need to learn how to read and write an essay.
So we're going to cover basically how to approach difficult readings, and we're also going to look a little bit about how to keep track.
I know it's a weak argument, but
no, it's really interesting because
my expectations were that it was going to be pretty rough. 12-hour days, 14-hour days. It's exceeded my expectations. Right. The single most important template that we focus on in this book is the they say, I say formula.
The reading and writing challenges faced by veterans are actually no different, really, from those faced by any other undergraduate student. Where they are different is that the time between the last academic work they've done is considerably greater. Most veterans have had a break of at least 4 years from high school or some sort of college work.
Yep. It adds to the conversation throughout history of important concepts.
Why is it known as something like that for so many hundreds of years?
Because it's
The Warrior Scholar Project began in 2011 with a partnership between myself and Jesse Reising. Jesse had recently been injured in the Harvard Yale game, his final football game of his undergraduate career, and it had ended his chances at serving in the military. He started a nonprofit, and that's when we partnered together. I knew very specifically where a need was for veterans, and that was in education.
I thought what I'd do, just to get things rolling, is say a little bit about the question.
We've chosen some of the top universities, originally because Jesse and I were both at Yale University when we started the Warrior Scholar Project, but also because you have some of the finest minds teaching there. And the idea is to bring veterans who aren't necessarily going to these particular colleges to these institutions so that they can be provided with some of the finest teaching in the world.
I'm not just going for the information that the classes are teaching, I'm going for the educational experience. As student veterans, we often discount the opinions of people we don't necessarily think have as much experience as we do, and that instantly discounts a large majority of the population that you're going to school with. That's not the correct attitude to have, and that's not a scholarly attitude to have.
Just walk. Got it. Walk. What happened? You impeded me. I impeded him, didn't I?
One of the most surprising things about the Warrior Scholar Project is how quickly the student veterans engage with the material. They are, in many ways, some of the most motivated students on the campus. And what we try and do in the Warrior Scholar Project is tap into that motivation and adjust a little bit of their attitude and approach to the college environment. I've always loved ideas and I've always loved to learn, and inspiring that sense of wonder, that sense of appreciation of learning and of ideas in others really inspires me.
One of the main takeaways is that I can succeed in this environment. We have these seminars every day where we get to interact with high-level policymakers, and just knowing that you can interact with them makes you very confident. It makes you feel like you can come to Harvard and whoop its ass. I don't want to say that. It makes you feel like you come to Harvard and be very successful.